Deb, where are we today?
The classic vehicle show.
That's a vehicle show, and what we're looking for?
Bikes.
Mostly bikes, but we'll look at some cars
Yeah,
while we're here.
yeah, some very pretty cars.
Let's see how we get on. Yes, the International Classic Motor Show. It sprawls over several halls at the NEC in Birmingham. It is mostly about cars, of course, but there are lots of motorcycles, commercial vehicles, buses and all sorts of things. The show isn't cheap, but it is vast and very much worth a visit, I feel. We had a great time there, and even though we're not car people, we were there for several hours. You got to hand it to Americans, they do make some very pretty cars, or certainly did do in the 50s and 60s. And oh, a Mustang. John Wick, anybody? Now, I do love a hearty little Italian, usually on two wheels, but four's pretty good too. And of course, there was lots and lots of beefy British metal around. Like the BSA Bantam stand. Because it seems like every show I've been to this year, BSA Bantams have been in attendance, and in big numbers too. The club always brings along a really interesting selection from off-road trials machines to road racers, and of course, postal delivery bikes. It really does seem like there's a BSA Bantam for everybody. Fairly obviously, right next door to the Bantam stand was the main BSA Owners Club stand, which included the remarkable 1921 TT, well, failure, there's no other word for it really. A very advanced design that was maybe a little bit too clever for its time. And at the opposite end of BSA spectrum is this humble little dandy, a great runabout for the 1950s. Or not so great, depends on your experiences. Angus Campbell was there and he brought along some of his power set bikes. He does a YouTube channel which deals mostly with the 71 power set. Well worth a visit, I think, if you're interested in BSAs of this period. He does have a Fury, one of which was a display model and used in various publicity shots, and one of which is a runner. Fascinating overhead cam 350. And if you check out his channel, you'll see he's just started work on this power set series B50 Gold Star 500. He's also got an A70. That's a 750 version of the A65 homologation special, which is in gorgeous condition just like all Angus's bikes. And of course his 71 Rocket 3, an absolute stunner. Once again, recommend you check out his channel because it's amazing how much work actually goes into bringing these bikes back to life. The Royal Enfield stand was just a stone's throw away from the BSA stand, and the guys on this stand were just as friendly as they had been on the BSA Owners Club, and had some absolutely delightful machines like the Airflow fully faired bike and this very unusual unit construction Bullet, a machine Enfield built for just a couple of years during the 1960s. On the Triumph stand is a Rushton Bonnie, a rare T140 built down in Devon after the Meriden factory closed, of course. Deb's favourite, the Tiger 90, was there on show. She still has a keen love for these bikes, knowing one day she may get another. Of course, the stand showed not only classic Brits of all sizes, but also some very exotic Italian machinery too. Why did nobody buy these Ducati Sports Classics? To me it's a complete mystery. Absolutely gorgeous. Now the Japanese bikes range from the very large and really rather expensive to the slightly less exotic 1990 stuff, which of course is becoming eminently more collectible, so is in its own way getting quite expensive too. Right at the other end of the spectrum was this lovely 100cc parallel twin Yamaha 2-stroke. And of course there's always Vespas and Lambrettas. This is a particularly over-the-top example of a Lambretta. Now, I'm not a scooter guy, but you have to admire the way they turn the bikes into a sort of moving art installation, don't you? For me, this wins the prize for the most bizarre machine of any sort at the show. It's a training version of a Vespa with a steering on the back seat, Truly the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, that's the bikes covered. Let's take a look at some of the shiny cars, shall we?